Organizational meeting of Monticello School Board 882 to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now I will seek approval for the organizational agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Melissa, seconded by Candy. All those by roll call since we are hybrid tonight. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Candy? Jeff?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. And now we will move on to the organization of the board, and at this time, I would seek a nomination for chairperson.
I'd like to nominate Jeff Hegle for chair.
There has been a nomination for Jeff Hegle for chair. Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? If there are no further nominations, then the office, nominations for the office of chair are closed. And since there was only one candidate nominated, then I can hereby declare Jeff Hegle elected by acclamation. And Jeff, at this time, you would take over running the rest of this. Would you like me to finish up with the elections?
That would be great if you want to complete the organizational part, and then I'll jump in on the next part.
Okay. So at this time, I would seek an election for vice chair treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Candace Carda for vice chair treasurer.
Any other nominations? Any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, nominations for the office of vice chair treasurer are closed. And since there is only one candidate nominated, I hereby declare Candace elected as vice chair treasurer. And then at this time, I would seek nominations for election of the secretary clerk.
I nominate Melissa Curtis for secretary.
Any other nominations? Any other nominations? If there are no further nominations for secretary, then nominations are closed, and I can hereby declare Melissa Curtis secretary. So we can then move on. Are you taking over the rest of this meeting, or am I running the rest of this one, Jeff?
I think I'm taking over the regular meeting after this.
Okay, so I will continue along and seek a motion to designate the official newspaper of District 882 as the Monticello Times.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Jeff Hegle, seconded by Melissa Curtis. All those by roll call. Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Clay, do you know if I can seek a motion for all the rest combined, or do we go through each individual one? Okay. So then I would seek a motion to designate the official district depositories as Core Trust, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, Minnesota Liquid Asset Fund, PMA Financial Network, Bremer Bank, and Mid-America Trust.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Candy, seconded by Melissa. All those in favor by roll call. Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. And at this time, I would seek a motion to set the monthly per diem rate for board members at $20.49 a month for the 2022 calendar year.
I'd like to move that we set the per diem rate for board members at $320.49 a month for the 22 calendar year.
Second.
Motion made by Kathy, seconded by Melissa. All those in favor by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Sandy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. At this time, I would entertain a motion to establish the official meeting night for the first Monday of every month at 6 PM in the middle school boardroom.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made by Melissa, seconded by Kathy. All those in favor by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Now I'd seek a motion to participate in federally funded programs.
I move that we participate as a district in federally funded programs.
Second.
A motion made by Kathy, seconded by Melissa. All those in favor by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Now I would seek a motion to authorize legal counsel and our authorized contacts with legal counsel as John Edison of Rupp Anderson Squires in Waldsburger, PA, and the school district authorized contacts as Eric Olson, Superintendent, Tina Burkholder, Director of Business Services, and Barb Wilson, Human Resource Director.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made by Melissa, seconded by Kathy. All those in favor by roll call. Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Candy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. Now a motion to enter into contractual agreements with colleges and universities assigning student teachers to our district.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Melissa, seconded by Candy. All those in favor by roll call. Candy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. And now we've reached the end of the organizational agenda, and I would seek a motion to adjourn this part of our meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Melissa, seconded by Candy. All those in favor by roll call. Candy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff? Kathy?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer? Aye. Motion passes 6-0, and the organizational meeting is adjourned at 6:08. Now it's all up to you, Jeff.
Okay, we will call the regular school board meeting at 6:08 PM. We'll call to order. We've already completed the Pledge of Allegiance once tonight, so we'll move on. Approve of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Motion was made by Melissa and seconded by Candace. All those in favor by roll call. Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. Jeff, aye. Motion approved 6-0. Told there will be no citizens' comments tonight, so we'll move on to the student representatives and their report for the beginning of the semester. It's all yours.
Hello, once again, I am Emily Al Mohammed, and
I'm Natalie Emmerich.
we're the student representatives. So today we have quite a few things to go over, but they are all good things, I promise once again. So first, I want to talk about registrations and kind of what has been going on with students lately. 9th, 10th, and 11th grade presentations were held that exposed students to offerings that round out the high school career. Basically, these presentations had kind of courses and resources that students could be exposed to if they wanted to do things outside of high school, such as Right Tech or ALP, working also, while also being a student, just things that they could be as students instead of just going to high school and taking high school courses. again, counselors are going to go with the 8th graders to kind of get them prepared for life as high schoolers and get them introduced to the 9th grade environment and what high school is like, and just get them more mentally prepared and understand what it's like to be a high school and how that culture may differ from being a middle schooler. They already talked to them once before, but this second time just to get them that push they need just as this final weeks of first semester wraps up. Personally, this is what I have experienced. Students from the younger grades, my underclassmen, have felt comfortable to talk to me about what courses to take. So I like how our school has that environment where students from the younger grades feel comfortable enough to speak to their upperclassmen about what suggestions of what classes would fit them and their needs, or what interests they may have in their careers. So I don't know if you've had any experience with that, but that's something that I really enjoy talking to my underclassmen. So I really like how our school has that environment where we can speak to each other. So semester 1 is going to end in about 8 days, I believe, if I counted correctly, excuse me. And currently, right now, as these final weeks wrap up, it has felt a little bit hectic, but overall, there's general feelings of excitement and relief as we get this first semester done. I believe the freshmen may feel kind of it's a rite of passage for them. The first semester of high school is over. It's a nice feeling, you know? And for us seniors, we're starting to enter our final semester as high schoolers. So it's kind of, nerve-wracking, to see that we're just at that final kind of frontier. We're going to be mature adults into society soon. So it's exciting as well.
We're at about our midway point through our winter sports. I think students are not only excited and happy to be playing and participating in these winter sports, but also being able to cheer on their other peers and their classmates. Our teams are starting to really bond more together, and they're getting their flow and they're gaining their rhythm, and it's really exciting to watch all of that kind of unfold this past winter. Students are excited for games. Like I said, I've been to a lot of sporting events, hockey, basketball, all of them. And every single one, there's been student sections, and students are talking at school, what are you wearing to the game tonight? Are you going to the game tonight? And we're just really happy to be able to go back to sporting events and cheer for our team. This past Friday, I was at our boys' basketball game, and there was a huge student section, and we were all just, it was a really great environment full of not only just like excitement and kindness, but also respect for the officials and the other team. And it was just a great game to attend, and not only just to cheer on the team, but to see how our school and our students work together to support each other. This past week, we had some other exciting news. We had WCCO come to our high school and interview myself and 3 other students about our unified club. They wanted to just get to know what our unified club was and what kind of a perspective as student athletes we had towards unified. It was really humbling because unified is always something that has been there for us, and it's nice to kind of gain that recognition, and just shows that how much we can make an impact and a difference outside of our community and all through the state. They're also, I think from what I've heard, they're going to be at our Moose game tomorrow night to kind of get some footage of a lot of us at our game, and so that's going to be really exciting. We're hoping to get a big crowd out there, but overall, from both of us, I think we've both seen a lot of positivity, kindness, and respect throughout the school. Students are excited for registration, and from what I've noticed, a lot more comfortable coming up to our staff and our counselors and asking them about, oh, what classes should I take next year? How is this going to affect me past high school? And they're more comfortable with having those face-to-face conversations than any other year from what I've recognized. Our seniors are starting to construct more of a path that they're going to take after high school, and it's nerve-wracking, but I think we're all super excited, and we're getting ready for graduation, and the semester 2 is just getting started, and we're all ready for it.
Yep.
Thank you.
In general, we're coming back with a strong focus and dedicated mindset, after the winter break. So I see a lot of students really passionate about improving their grades and trying to do well for this next semester. And we can all thank you guys and your willingness to kind of help us through our struggles and all that stuff. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a good night, and this concludes our part of the meeting. Thank you.
Just 1 second, students. First of all, your public speaking, absolutely fantastic. Just watching your progression is so cool, and couldn't be more proud of you. And then Natalie, could you remind everybody what Unified is?
Oh, yeah. So Unified is a group of students with and without intellectual disabilities. We have 2 optional classes at our school. We have Unified Phy Ed and Unified Music, and then we also have a Unified Club. and we meet monthly or a couple times a month, and we just do fun activities. We have had bingo, we made snowflakes during the winter time, and it's really just a super inclusive group of kids, and it's just really fun to participate in.
Thank you, guys, ladies, yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you very much. We will move on to the consent agenda. Anybody has a,
Motion moved to approve the consent agenda?
Seconded.
motion made by Candace, and I believe, I'm sorry, I didn't hear who the second was.
Kathy.
You had the second, thank you. Motion made by Candace, second made by Kathy to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? None. Moving forward with the vote. All those in favor, Melissa,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Candace,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Jeff, aye. Motion passes 6-0 to pass the consent agenda. Next we'll move on to collaborative connections, and I think Superintendent Olson will take charge of that.
Got it. We have one donation. The donation that we have is $7,000 from Peacemaker. And it's specifically for the Monticello Middle School to help fund Seven Mindsets, which is one of the curricula used at the Monticello Middle School, teaching the core standard emotional learning curriculum that we've had in place. I think this is our 4th year. So this is the one particularly for 7th and 8th grade. 6th grade uses a different curriculum. So, yeah, so I'd like to bring that forward. It's always nice to have supportive community members to be able to bring things that we already have in existence. So it really helps our budget quite a bit, and it helps our students greatly.
Therefore, be it resolved by the Monticello School Board Number 882, gratefully accept the following donation. Peacemaker Minnesota, $7,000 to help fund Seven Mindsets curriculum and support SEL programming at Monticello Middle School.
Second.
So, resolution for acceptance of gifts for Peacemaker Minnesota for $7,000 made by Jennifer and seconded by Candace. Any discussion? Therefore, move forward with all those in favor. Melissa,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Candace,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Jamie,
Aye.
Jeff, aye. Motion passes 6-0. Moving on to innovation and leadership. Superintendent Olson?
I'm actually just going to, we have a resolution to approve the annual designation of identified official with authority from MDE. And so that's really this, the resolution needs to be read, and then I can appoint one additional person as a support person.
Okay, and Clay, refresh my memory, does this, and is an actual resolution, or can we just go right off of what Eric just read?
I think you can just make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I make a motion to adopt the Education Identity and Access Management Board resolution.
Second.
Motion made by Jennifer, seconded by Candace. All those in favor, Melissa,
Aye.
Jennifer,
Aye.
Candace,
Aye.
Kathy,
Aye.
Amy,
Aye.
Jeff, aye. Motion passes 6-0. Next, Tina is up.
So good evening. Since we have a restructure in our board organization, we need to update and approve our check signers. So with the chairperson now, it is Jeff Hegle, our treasurer Candace Carda, and clerk Melissa Curtis. So seeking approval tonight for the following check signers, authorized check signers, as Jeff Hegle, Candace Carda, Melissa Curtis, myself, Tina Burkholder, and our controller, Amy Stahlback, and accountant, Cindy Brenny.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion, I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Jennifer?
Jennifer, thank you, Jennifer. Motion made by Jennifer, seconded by Kathy. All those in favor, Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Amy?
Aye.
Jeff, aye. Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Moving on to safety and healthy culture. Dr. Wilson will have the district's COVID update. Barb?
Sorry, Jeff, we're just doing our best to throw a curveball at you in your opening meeting. I'm going to take this, and Barb will be available to help as needed. So just our kind of monthly COVID update. If you want to go ahead to the next screen, Gavin. I guess we always start with asking parents and staff and families to stay home when sick. We've certainly found that's the most effective way to combat a lot of spread in our school community. The good news is that over the last month, cases have seemed to plateau in the district after we peaked in November. The last 4 to 5 weeks have come back down and stayed relatively low. We have seen a little bit of an increase the last couple days in reported cases. Not sure if that's going to be a trend or a little bit of a blip, but it just kind of reinforces the importance of self-checking and staying home when sick and making sure that we're making good decisions to keep everyone around us healthy. Some good news, we have updated our safe learning plan as of last week to match updated CDC guidelines, which we'll look at here in a second. And then we'll also get to, but we're still awaiting the final court decision regarding vaccination requirements, and we're continuing to move along that process while we wait. So here's a quick look at where we're at cases-wise. Last week, we had 4 confirmed cases in our staff and 10 confirmed cases in our students. On the right there, you can see kind of how we've trended throughout the school year. As I mentioned earlier, we really spiked a little bit in November, but other than that, have kind of kept relatively steady, some slight ups and downs, but kept relatively steady most of the school year, and including these last 4 to 5 weeks. So the updated quarantine guidance, what you see here is what is in our SAFE plan, and it's also pulled directly from the CDC guidance. So this matches verbatim what the CDC has recommended, which is essentially that quarantine has now been shortened to 5 days, so long as symptoms are resolving and people have been fever-free for 24 hours. We are asking, as does the CDC, that if you return after 5 days, that you wear a mask for the ensuing 5 days. Again, that's a CDC requirement. And if your symptoms are not resolving after 5 days, that you continue to quarantine until your symptoms are resolving. So that it's not just after 5 days you're free, but if it's been 5 days and your symptoms are resolving and you're fever-free, then you are welcome to come back. And of course, this applies to students and staff equally. And then just the household quarantine, just updated that to kind of reflect the same, that all members of the household must quarantine for 5 days from the end of the positive person's contagious period, unless they are vaccinated and boosted or have completed their initial vaccination series within the past 6 months or had COVID in the past 90 days. And again, this matches exactly what the CDC released in their latest guidance. So then the last big topic is the employee vaccination federal mandate, the emergency testing program. The HR department has begun the process of the collection process for staff working in a couple of select programs that are required to have proof on file by January 31st. One of those programs is a part of our preschool program housed at EEC that must comply with federal guidelines. And there's an additional training program that's held at the EEC that is guided by state worker guidelines and must also comply by that date. The procedures for the staff that are connected to those 2 programs must be in place by February of this year. To go along with that, a weekly COVID testing program will be put in place at the EEC. starting in February of 2022 to match those OSHA guidelines. We are also in the process of making good faith efforts towards establishing a process for collecting proof of vaccination for all staff. We're continuing to work on developing the communication and the protocols for that process and what that will look like. Right now, the mandate process is in place. It was temporarily stayed, and then the stay was dissolved. And as I think everyone knows, the Supreme Court heard the case on Friday, and right now everyone's just kind of awaiting a decision on that. But we've been guided by legal teams and the state and federal guidelines that as of now we have to continue to move forward until we hear otherwise. So kind of in a waiting pattern, but making good faith efforts to move forward while we wait to hear the next update on that. Any questions for Dr. Wilson or I? Okay.
Like, can you talk a little bit about the process of working with the staff at Eastview through this?
That might be a better question for Dr. Wilson if.
Yes, I can talk about that a little bit. We have about 45 to 50 staff at Eastview that are affected by the requirements for federal employees and programs and state employees and programs. So we have done a Google survey of those staff and then started to follow up with staff that cannot comply in either or both of those programs. So we met with the staff, Eric and Superintendent Olson and myself met with staff last Thursday and tried to explain the guide, that these are federal guidelines. This is not something that the district is, out there trying to enforce on its own, and that explained what exemption options were available and what testing and masking requirements could be in place if they cannot comply. So we just started working with staff last Thursday that have kind of indicated they're not sure about complying with proof of vaccination. It was an excellent discussion on the part of the staff. I think we shared a lot of information and just want to make it clear to all of our staff as we move forward that if this is something that you want to have a conversation about, please reach out to HR and we will make time to sit down and talk and explain the details of the request.
And Barb, one of the reasons I asked that question, Clay, is that just so people understand that this is a situation that we're working through and that we're doing it together as a district, and we're just not going full steam ahead and saying this is the only option that we're providing for you. That the admin is doing an excellent job of meeting with people and talking through things and trying to figure out what's best for each individual. And I think it's important for people to understand that this isn't just a simple yes or no situation, and so that there's lots of things going on and lots of discussions being held to make this work for everybody.
Yes, thank you. All right. If board members hear any comments from people or have people they want me to reach out and try to talk with, please pass their names on. I'm happy to meet with people, talk with them, do what I can.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson and Clay. Clay, is that all you have?
Yep, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Last thing on the agenda for safety and healthy culture, Eric, Superintendent Olson with the second reading of policies, policy 807, health and safety.
Well, I'd just like to first thank you, Jeff, and Clay. You really led right into this policy. And then I'd also like to thank the policy committee as we worked through this policy a couple different times. I think it's best to take a little bit of a non-traditional approach when explaining where we're at with this policy, even though it's basically already been said in the two presentations that we just heard. A lot of districts have already adopted the 7 or 12-page policy that guides the vaccination process. As a district, Wilson and Policy Committee really advised us to take a nice slow approach so that we could work with our staff and our employees, make sure that we have the specific deadlines, the dates, and it had already cleared through the hearing process. And so in order to timestamp and show that we have protected the district and have moved everything forward, we have put one sentence in policy 807, which is a sentence of compliance that we, is absolutely a sentence of compliance that we have to do anyhow. So the only sentence we've had to the health and safety policy is the school district will follow all OSHA and min-OSHA guidelines and requirements. That's the only sentence that we've added, and we believe that it gives us time to really methodically dissect the 7 or 12-page document that some school districts have already have already passed. And so we are taking an approach that is very slow and methodical, working with the policy committee. But I would open it up to the policy committee if they would like to say anything more. But we feel this protects our employees as we work with them, just like Jeff Hegle has just said. And we also believe that it protects the district, because the last thing you would want to do is to have a program that right now the federal government funds about 13% of our district. What you would hate to do is see program loss for kids in an abrupt fashion. And so we don't know what could happen. All we know is that the School Board Association has provided some model policy for us to comply with. And by not complying and as fast as some other districts, we feel we are serving our employees the best. And so I'm proud of our policy committee, and I'm proud of being able to say this today as we take a much slower approach. Let the policy committee add to that if they would like to.
I can make a few comments. One of the things that we discovered as we looked into this is that policy 807 is in the 800 series, and the 800 series is in building and plant management. So if you think of things like steel-toed boots or goggles when you're doing something that's hazardous, that's what the OSHA requirements usually fall under. And the model policy for 807, coming from MSBA, is about 7 pages in length. It's quite a bit more detailed than our policy and lists out everything from asbestos to forklifts that's in there. So the addition of the sentence that we will follow OSHA and min-OSHA guidelines has not changed anything that we're doing at this moment in time. We haven't added anything, and we haven't taken anything away. We had some discussion about whether we should have that in there or not have that in there, and our attorneys have assured us that it needs to be in there right now to say that we will be in compliance with these agencies, with the policies and guidelines that they put out. And so I support having that in there, knowing that it is an additional sentence, but it doesn't change anything that we're doing. It's a bridge to the process to look at these new policies that MSBA has provided us with some model guidance on. And that's what we're tackling next. This is a bridge to that process. So I don't know if I was really clear on that or not, but I wanted to just kind of throw that out because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about, because we added that in as though it only applies to the COVID situation, but it doesn't. The whole policy applies to quite a bit of safety and plant management sort of things. So.
And it's something we've been doing all along. It's nothing
Right.
new. We've always had it. It's just expressly said.
We
This
need to
policy-
follow all sorts of OSHA, min-OSHA, other laws, regulations, whether or not.
Right.
This just gives us something to protect us.
Okay, so let's, as far as conversation towards this policy, I think we've all have received concerns from individuals in the community about that this may be pushed onto our kids. So how can we have a discussion to say that this is strictly for the school personnel, employees, and we're following guidelines as far as OSHA wants us to do?
Yes, I agree. There's nothing in this policy that applies to students at this point that I can see. It's all, and in fact, they go to great length in quite a lot of the documents defining what is an employee and who is an employee, whether or not a parent that comes into the building is an employee or not, whether or not a volunteer is or a guest speaker. And so there's quite a lot of breakdown of those categories, and none of those folks would be considered employees under the guideline. Am I correct about that, Mr. Olson? You want
I don't know if Barb, if you wanted to jump in there at all?
1 second here. Yes, I just want to mention that OSHA and mid-OSHA do protect employees and workplaces. If there were guidelines related to student vaccinations, I would anticipate we would see those from MDH or MDE or something along that line. So this current policy does not in any way apply to students. This is only related to workplace and employees.
And just like if people are wondering on the board who are on the policy committee, the 7 to 12 page legal guidelines do not make reference to students as well. So just confirming that this is what it is. This is how it got to here. We're trying to protect ourselves in a slow, methodical way. But even looking into the future, for those of you that like to look into the future, there isn't anything mentioned about students in the employee vaccination or testing face covering model policy 491. It's a new policy that's on the horizon that we have to dive into next.
Certainly, we will be alert to any updates that come out as a result of the Supreme Court hearings. I think everybody's hoping to hear something sooner rather than later. Certainly, we're not the only ones. It affects every business, every school district, every healthcare facility, coast to coast. So we're hoping to hear something soon, and certainly we'll be updating as soon as we hear that.
And I would assume, obviously if the Supreme Court makes a decision that changes this policy, then it is something that we could address again at a later time. Is that correct? Superintendent Olson and the policy committee?
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. We only want to be in a place ready to enforce what we need to enforce and to follow what we're told we need to collect.
Any further discussion? Okay, discussion closed. Would like to make a motion, an action item?
I move we adopt the policy 807 changes as presented.
Second.
Jennifer, motion made by Jennifer, second by Candace. All those in favor, Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Jeff? Aye. Motion passes 6-0. That ends our meeting. Your motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Melissa, second by Jennifer. All those in favor, Melissa?
Aye.
Jennifer?
Aye.
Candace?
Aye.
Kathy?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Jeff? Aye. Motion passes 6-0 to adjourn the meeting. There should be just a list of upcoming high school board meetings below. And before we leave, I just wanted to say thank you to Jennifer for her year of service as board chair. She obviously took on board chair when not many other people wanted to do it during everything that was taking place through negotiations and COVID and everything. And I think she did an outstanding job. So thank you very much, Jennifer, for doing that for this last year, and your number is officially on my speed dial, so.
Thank you, Jeff, for taking over now.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
Hope everybody has a good night and stay safe.
Night.